Let's dive into Ayveen's training so we can stay consistent at home. Whenever he's doing behaviors that we want to keep seeing, whether that's being nice and calm or he's following our commands, we want to reinforce and reward that with either praise, petting, or treats. And then whenever he's doing things that we don't want to see, whether that's jumping up on us, he's pawing us, or he stopped following our commands, we're going to follow through with the training equipment so we can decrease those unwanted behaviors. So let's go over Ayveen's training equipment. This is his prong collar. He's going to be wearing this whenever he is on a leash. So in the house, he may have the leash on in the beginning to introduce the new rules and boundaries. And then absolutely when we take him out on walks, he will be wearing this so we can communicate with him efficiently every single time we have him on the leash. How we take this on and off is we're going to secure this link, push through like so with the other link. To put it back together, we have to pinch this prong and put it through the holes of the other prong. He's done really good with this, and he sits and stays and lets me put it on him, so that makes it a little bit easier. And then how we use this, say he's in the heel command, that means walk nice and loose on the right side. Say he starts to pull ahead or does something that we don't want to see. What we're going to do is say no to mark the incorrect behavior, follow through with the pop of the leash, and then remind him heel. So no, pop, heel. And then, of course, whenever he gets back into the position where we want him, we're going to reinforce and reward where we want him to be. Now with the remote collar, how we use this, how we turn this on and off, red dots, we're going to physically touch these together. That green light means the collar itself is on. Now for the remote, how we turn this on, there is a button on the back. We're going to push and hold until the screen lights up. Then you're going to see level 35 appear on the screen. This is Ayveen's working level that has been working for him. And then we're going to focus on the black S button. S just stands for stimulation, so it's kind of like an electric muscle stimulator. So how we use this, say he's in that heel position again and he starts to pull ahead or does something we don't want to see, we're going to say no, marking the incorrect behavior, follow through with the black S button, heel, no, button, heel. Then, of course, reinforcing and rewarding where we want him to be. Now, depending on the level of distraction, we may use one of these. We may use both of these. Just depends on the situation that we are in with Ayveen. That is his training equipment. Now, let's go over his commands. I've already gone over that heel. I would suggest about 80 to 90% of our walks, we are doing the heel command. The other 10 to 20%, he can be in his free, which means that's where he's going to do his business, where we follow him rather than him following us. But just because he's in a free doesn't mean he's allowed to jump on us or make those inappropriate decisions. Now we have sit. Sit means stay as implied until he's given the release word free. This is really good for those door manners, so he's not bolting through doors anymore. So now when we approach a door, inside or outside, he sits. That means stay. So then we have two options. We can either free him through the door or heel through the door with him. Just depends on the scenario that we are in. Now say we're practicing this and he gets up from his sit as we're opening the door. What we're going to do is say no, follow through with the training equipment, get him back into the sit, shut the door, and try again until he gets it right, because we want to set those same standards that we have here at the facility at home, so that way he understands that every door, everywhere means sit and stay till you're told free. Now we have down. Down means stay as implied as well with all of his stay commands, whether it's sit, down, or place. We're never going to release him from a distance. We never want to walk 10 feet away and then call him to us, because then he's getting reinforced and rewarded for coming to us and not staying in that stay command. So if we're practicing any of the stay commands, we're always going to go back to him, reward him, and release him from where he's at. And then say you're practicing this one, you're doing a little bit of a distraction. Say he gets up and he comes to you. No big deal. We're going to say no, follow through with the training equipment, take him back to approximately wherever he was, put him back in the down, and then whatever made him get up, whatever distraction happened, try to do it again so that we can replicate it and reward him for passing that distraction. Now we have place. Place is a boundary state, ideally on an elevated bed. I'm going to recommend this one for whenever you have people come over, or it's a situation that you have people coming into the house very quickly. We can put him on place. Place is not a sit stay or a down stay. It is a boundary stay. So he can sit, lay down, whatever, but he has to stay on that boundary. So it's a little bit easier for him to do when bigger things are happening rather than staying in a sit stay. So when first practicing this one, I suggest having the leash on, and whenever bigger distractions are happening, having the leash on, so we have that way to communicate with him and guide back to the bed if we need to. So when practicing this one, not calling him from a distance. If we want to release him, we're going to go back to the place bed he is, release him from where he's at. So that way he's getting rewarded for staying. And then when rewarding, we reward on the place bed so he knows where that positive zone is. Let's say you're practicing this one and somebody comes to the door and he jumps off the bed. No big deal. No, we're going to follow through with the training equipment, get him back to the place bed, try it again until he gets it right. Because at home, he knows what he used to do. So now we've got to introduce all of the new commands and what we expect of him at home and reward him for it. Now we have come when called. When practicing this one, I would suggest a 30 to 50-foot leash. So if he does get extra distracted, we have that communication tool from a distance with him, and we communicate with him and reel him back in like a fish if we need to. When practicing this one, I suggest telling him free, letting him go get distracted doing his own thing, because that's when we're going to need him to come back to us. So we're practicing for realistic expectations. Once he's distracted, we're going to say calm, nice, loud, and firm. As he's coming to us, we can praise him just a little bit, but with Ayveen, we don't want to praise too much because he gets a little too excited. And then before we know it, we have chaos happening. So little praise. Once he gets into our space, we'll have him sit, and then we give him the reward. So sit means stay. He's not allowed to get up until we tell him free. So that way when we call him to us, he can't just get a treat and then run back off and do whatever he was doing. Say he makes a mistake, though, we call him to us, and he's busy looking at something, doing his own thing. We're going to say no to mark that incorrect behavior, not coming into our space. Follow through with the training equipment. Call him again, and then we're going to go right back into that praising and have that treat waiting for him when he gets into our space, because just because he made a mistake out there doesn't mean we're not going to be the positive zone, because coming into our space, it's always going to be positive. Now we have leave it. Leave it just means don't grab that. So when practicing this one, I would suggest having the leash on just in case we need to guide him into a different scenario, but we're going to toss something on the ground. I've practiced this with food and toys. You say leave it. Leave it means don't grab that. So if he goes for it at all, we follow through with the training equipment. And if he ignores it and walks away, that's when we reward him, which you'll see in the video, because that's what we're expecting out of it. And then say he does grab it. We're just going to keep trying it until he gets it right, especially at home. But that is all of Ayveen's commands. So we want to reinforce and reward those behaviors that we want to keep seeing, those calmer behaviors or listening to our commands. And then whenever he's being a little bit crazy, he's jumping up on us, we want to mark those behaviors. So that way he is decreasing those behaviors and we're not seeing them as often. But now we're going to have fun, stay consistent, and we're going to watch Ayveen do his commands. Sit. 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 Good. Sit. 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 Down. Good boy. Down. Good boy. Down. Good boy. Down. Good. Down. Good boy. Down. Free. Free. That's a good boy. Leave it. Good. Leave it. Good boy. 3. 3. Okay. Good job. Okay, over here. Lock them up. Hey, over here. Oh, you stepped on it. Over here. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. Free. Place. Let's go over the other features of the remote. We've already gone over how to turn it on. Now let's go over how to turn it off. To turn it off, we're going to press these red dots together. That red light means the collar itself is off, but to turn off the remote, we got to push the on and off button on the back of the screen. Once the screen goes off, we know we're good to go. Now I'm going to turn it back on, and we're going to go over the other buttons on the remote. So that black S button you've already seen is that 35 that we see on the screen. Say that level isn't working for Ayveen, whether he's having too much of a reaction to it or he's not reacting to it at all. What we're going to do is push down on this dial until we see that 1D at the top of the screen start flashing. Then we can rotate this number to whatever number we think is going to work for Ayveen. It does have 100 levels. I'm not saying go all the way to 100, but we're still on the low end. So if we do need to go up, we absolutely can. Then to lock that back into place, since it's been doing great for Ayveen, we're going to push down on that dial until that 1D stops flashing. So that way if we put this on or we put it in our pocket, we're not accidentally changing it. Now underneath the black S button, we have the red S button. So this is the boost feature that we can use if Ayveen's getting really distracted with something, whether that's chasing a car or chasing after an animal. It's going to jump his level 25 levels. So from 35 to 60, because whenever he is in that high adrenaline state of mind and he's chasing after something, level 35 reaches about here, but whenever he is up here doing something that's high in adrenaline, he is up here. So we have an instant way to communicate with him in those situations. So this is emergency cases only. The other side is a vibrate feature. I like to use this to make sure that the collar is on and ready to go, but you can absolutely use it kind of as a warning once he gets further into his training to kind of give him that vibration and knock it off. Now on the back of the remote, the on and off button also works as a flashlight feature. So if we push it rather than holding it, it's going to be a flashing flashlight. That second time, solid flashlight. Third time, turns it off. Right next to the on and off button, we have the M/C button. In the beginning, we started out on continuous, which is what the C stands for, at a very low level to introduce the color in a very positive way. And then for the M, that's momentary. So no matter how long you click this button, it is only going to stimulate for that quick second. So he should stay on momentary the rest of his training. The charging port for the remote is right underneath that on and off button. And then for the collar, it's right in between the prongs. It does stay charged for 2 days if he wears it for 12 to 14-hour days. So it depends on how long he's wearing it, but if you charge it every other day, you should be fine. Then it comes with a dual charger, so that way you can charge both of them at the same time. So that way you're not wondering if one is charged and one is not. Ayveen does have a little bit of longer hair, so if you're noticing that his prongs aren't making good contact with his neck, they do come with longer prongs if you need to transfer them over, but right now the shorter prongs have been making great contact, so we haven't had to use them. Underneath is the manual. There are other features that it can go over, like it does have a tone feature. If that's something that you want to look into, you are more than welcome to. It goes over how to change it over, or you can just read it to see all of the features of the remote. It is waterproof, so if it does get wet, not too big of a deal, but if Ayveen's going to stay wet for an extended period of time, I always recommend rotating the collar so it's not rubbing and irritating one part of his neck too long from being wet. Now, it does have a 2-year warranty, so if you have any problems with the remote, absolutely get in contact with the company and they should be able to send you a new one. So with the remote collar, we also want to put it on first thing in the morning, and then it's the last thing that we take off at night, so we always have that form of communication with Ayveen. Now with the prong collar, that's going to be on whenever he's on a leash. So in the house, he may have the leash on, but he'll slowly fade away from not having the leash on in the house and just having the remote collar. So leash is prong. This is as soon as we wake up in the morning, it goes on, comes off at the end of the day. That is all of the other features of the remote. So just like in the beginning, we're going to have fun, stay consistent, and that's everything.